Welcome back, everyone, to CONCACAF Connection. This is I've stopped counting, but I think this is like
Episode five, I
episode
think.
6 or 5 of season 2, something like that. Match week 3 for the Premier League and other leagues around the world, maybe. League Cup play has started, much to my chagrin, but we'll get to that later on. Where do we want to start?
I think you just said where we should start. The
League
downfall of Tottenham
Fresh.
and the Ange.
No, I mean,
not
look.
downfall, not downfall.
This okay, I guess we'll start League Cup. Spurs out on pens in the second round.
Bro, it's penalties, bro. You can't be mad at that. You
Um,
really can't.
But to be 1-1,
You're right,
Fulham,
but this was the first time so far this season. To be fair, it's the first loss this season, but like the first time this season where you could look at the team, look at the way they played, look at the result, and be like, that was the manager's fault. Because we're not in Europe. There's no FA Cup yet. It's a Premier League opponent away from home. There's no need to make 9 changes to the lineup.
9?
Like, he made 9 changes to the starting 11.
You're not
For a
wrong.
bunch of kids.
No,
He just played a bunch of backups. Like,
Yeah.
the midfield was Lo Celso, Skip, and Højbjerg. Let me just pull up I don't know why
I have it pulled up. I have it pulled up.
Okay.
So it was Forster in goal, Davies, Van de Ven, Sanchez, Royale in the back for
Forster.
Lo Celso, Højbjerg, and Skip in the midfield, and Perisic, Richarlison, and Solomon in the offensive line.
Well, hold on. Before I make any comment, what was the final score before penalties?
1-1.
1-1.
What were the
And-
overall statistics?
I mean, Tottenham dominated the ball with 60% of the possession. They had 10 shots to Fulham's 14. Fulham had 2 more big chances than they did, but Fulham missed all 3 of their big chances. Their goal came from an own goal from Van de Ven.
Who, Tottenham's or Fulham's?
Fulham's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richarlison broke his duck for
Richarlison's goal was nice, especially the assist. The assist was class.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you this. Eddie.
But
Let me ask you this. You say it's his fault, and maybe it is, but I mean, you're right. You have no Europe, you have no anything. But how else is he supposed to gauge whether or not who he wants to keep and who he doesn't want to keep? You know.
I was gonna get to that because he did say
Yeah.
after the game when he was asked about like why did you make 9 changes, he said his response was like, well, he was like, I need to find out like who I want to keep, who I want to use. Like, there's no way for these players to earn their spot if I don't give them a chance, which I agree with all that. At the same time, there's ways to give players chances without making 9 changes. You can make 5 changes.
Yeah.
Even
it's not the
5
only-
changes is fine. Like, but 9 to take out pretty much the entire team when there's no Europe, no FA Cup yet. Like, to me, it was just a head scratching decision. I'm not like saying he's a bad manager for it or anything like that. I'm just saying like that just didn't make a ton of sense to me. And like I think he should have made changes at halftime, but whatever. Like, we still scored and he made the right changes eventually. But
Well, apart from the 9 changes, a lot of these players were starters from last season. So I don't think the quality, in my opinion anyways, dipped that much. I just don't know. Well, did he play any differently than he did the
No.
other games that he
But
has
it's
played
like-
in the Prem?
no, but it's like it should have been. If it were me, I probably would have kept Forster in goal just because, it's nice to have. He's a good enough backup to where like whatever, keep him in. I probably would have started Son over Perisic. I probably would have kept Solomon and Richarlison in. I would have probably still started Destiny at left back. I probably would have at least kept one starter in the midfield. So yeah, that's like I would have kept 5 of the changes, but 9 changes was just weird to me. And then the one thing that everyone's saying on Twitter is like, why is Davinson Sanchez taking the pen there? Like, why is he your 4th penalty kick taker when you had James Madison who could have taken it, you had Solomon who could have taken it, you had like all these guys that could have taken it. Why was Sanchez 4th in line? Like he had a bad game also. Like there were just some interesting decisions that didn't make sense. I mean, I don't think we were gonna win the cup anyway, but like it's just unfortunate to be out this early.
The only thing I can think of is that you're probably right. You're probably right. He probably fumbled it, and you're right to be upset being out this early. But I mean, one thing I feel like we criticized Arsenal a lot for last season was, Arteta in those clutch moments didn't really know the full depths of his squad. It felt like at times, wasn't making the right substitutions or waited until bigger games to give players opportunities. And I think one thing he was trying to do, and I don't know for sure, is just probably, like I said earlier, trying to understand who he wants to keep around, who he doesn't want to keep around, and probably also see who could make a difference in certain games, later down in the season. I know it's still super early, but that's like the only thing I can think of. But you're right, it is strange to make 9 changes, but I also think maybe he thought Fulham might make some changes as well. I don't think he was probably expecting Fulham to come out with a super strong 11, but
also like I agree, but Fulham away is not the type of like that's not the draw to be doing this. Like is like my thing. Like I told you on Football Manager a few nights ago, I was like, Fulham away is such a tough first cup game. Like it feels like a trap game, and I ended up being right. Like if we, like I know the draw makes it hard to predict, but like you've got to assume if you get past Fulham, like next round maybe you'll get like I don't know, Birmingham away or Birmingham at home. And now that you're a level down from the Prem, now make those changes. Now see who you want to see. Like, and I know maybe it's like the transfer window's coming up, so maybe it's now he identifies who he thinks they should sell and things like that. But like, I just think once again, this has happened in cups in the past. We don't put out strong enough teams to win these trophies. You have to try to win. If you want to win these trophies, you have to commit. And I just don't think the lineup was strong enough. They didn't even play very well in the first half. Second half was better, but still not like what we've seen in the Prem. And I guess if Ange wanted to use this tournament as a trial for players, he only got 1 game of it. Maybe he was going to do the same thing. Maybe Birmingham, he was going to do the same thing as he was against Fulham. So I don't know. It was just a weird game, and it just always had that. As soon as I saw the draw, it just always had the vibe of a trap to me. Because Fulham are always tough. We know this. We've seen, especially last season, how well they did coming back up. They're always a tough game, especially at home. That's a tough place to play.
Yeah,
for any team, that's tough.
Yeah, and they showed it against Arsenal last week. They're a team that can steal some big.
They were away from home against Arsenal.
Yeah, they're a tough team. So no, I agree with you. It sounds like you've changed your mind on Ange already.
No, stop it.
No,
I'm still all aboard the Ange train. We're still unbeaten in the Prem.
I'm just teasing.
You just can't be too critical. I mean, I see where your frustrations are coming from, but at least from what the stats show, I know stats are a lot different from in-game, but at least according from the stats, you guys played overall well. And you can't be too upset because, dude, when it's a penalty shootout, it really is. It's just like it could go either way. It doesn't matter how good the team is or bad the team is. It's just who's got the better nerves, who's got the luck on their side. So I understand your frustration, but if you played that well with your B team, I wouldn't be too upset.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. It's a tournament that, whether I agree or not, I don't agree, but it's losing value every day. But like At the end of the day, it's still a trophy. At the end of the day, the players still get excited when they win. They still show passion when they win. So I think it's just in fans' head that the tournament doesn't mean anything. But if the tournament didn't mean anything, the players wouldn't care. But they clearly care when they play.
You have to ask whose fans don't appreciate it. That's also big.
I would say most Premier League fans don't care about the EFL Cup.
I would disagree. Because you have to
I'll be honest,
understand.
I'm gonna care about the EFL Cup. I want to win the fucking Carabao Cup.
Yeah. I feel like most people, they're always like, yeah, we gotta win it, but I feel like the top 6 don't care. Their fans don't care. But they're challenging for bigger.
5 years in a row.
You could argue the FA Cup is the same thing. Like,
yeah, but
say it about the EFL Cup and then look at the FA Cup and be like, oh, it's such a prestigious trophy. Like, they're essentially the same thing.
Yeah, but like you have to realize whose fans are saying that. Because if you were to ask an Aston Villa fan, a Crystal Palace fan, a West Ham fan, these guys care. They're for the lack of better words, they're starving for silverware. They want these trophies.
That's not the right way to go about it. Every fan base cares until their team is out of it.
Yeah.
So Big 6 are gonna care until they're knocked out.
Yeah, but the Big 6 value it less. The people that follow the Big 6 value it less because they're also
I do agree.
in contention with the Premier League, Champions League, or Europa League, or any other title they're going for. I don't disagree with you. I think every fan cares. They want to win every trophy. But I think
right now we know who are the two teams that are competing for the fucking Premier League.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else is just scrapping.
City and Tottenham.
Yeah, City and Tottenham right now. And West Ham, they're in there.
And West Ham look good.
West Ham do look good. We'll get to them.
But
I guess
I think it's just evaluation.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm not arguing about whether or not people care. I just think there's other sets of fans that care more. That's really all I think.
Fair enough. Well, I'll be a little more positive in this game. The Bournemouth game was really, really good. Well worth the waking up at 6:30, Abdon. I appreciate you wanting them to win for me because I was waking up so early. But I'm just saying, like, with Ange, it'll be worth it to wake up every time. So I just the way and even today in a game where I was disappointed, it's still so worth it to watch him. Yeah, we'll clip that. We'll clip that. We'll come back to that. But as far as Bournemouth game, another game that I was a little worried because I like what Bournemouth have done. I like the business they've done. I think they'll stay up comfortably this season. Another ground that's not easy to play, no matter who you are. But we came out, looked really sharp, played the game the way we've been playing. Udogi's just unbelievable. James Madison's unbelievable. His best game of the season by far so far was against Bournemouth. Madison was insane. We sustained some pressure at the start of the second half. I was worried that our defense was going to fumble it because that's easily been the shakiest part of the team so far, but they held strong and then we put it away. And then they never looked like they were going to get back into it. I do have to admit this, though. I did maybe fall asleep for 15 minutes.
It's 6 a.m, bro. I can't really.
You're bullshitting.
I can't really
You're
hold it
bullshitting
against
out
you.
here.
I saw the first goal. The first goal was 20 minutes in. I saw the first goal and I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. And then, so that had me juiced. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm good. I was really tired the first 20 minutes, but then after we scored, I was like, yeah, let's go. And then as I started to read on Twitter, I was just looking on Twitter and I just slowly, nodded off. And then I woke up and it was 2 or 3 minutes into halftime. And I was like, oh shit, I missed the whole rest of the second half or the whole rest of the first half. I was like, what the fuck? And I woke up and I saw Tim Howard's dome on my screen. And I was like, what? What's going on? And then luckily I made it for the whole second half, but yeah, I don't know. Nothing else really actually to say other than just a really good win. We've looked really good in the Prem so far, so I'm really impressed, and there's just so much young talent on this team that I'm really excited about. And now I'll bring a take that Jose got a sneak preview of when we were talking on Football Manager. I know it's 3 games into his Premier League career. I know it's early. He's 20 years old. He's going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. I know. Right now, at this current moment, I can't think of 3 left backs that I would rather have than Destiny Udogie. I would rather have Ben Chilwell. I'll admit that. Ben Chilwell's better.
Like in the league?
I was about to say,
In
like,
the Premier League. In the Premier League, I can't think of 3 left backs that I would rather have in this current moment. The fact that he's 20 years old, the fact that he's come into the Prem and had no trouble adjusting to the league. We've seen Serie A players come to the Prem and vice versa and struggle to adjust. He's had no trouble. He's fitting Ange's system. What'd you say?
I said clip that.
He's fitting this is a TikTok clip for sure. He's fitting into Ange's system so well. Like, he's a threat every time. He gets back and defends really well. Like, I was sitting here like trying to think like who would I genuinely sit down, and if I was building a team, who would I rather put at left back that's currently in the Prem than him? And I thought of Chilwell. I was like, yeah, for sure.
I named 3 people the other night. You remember them?
Well, Chilwell. Malacia, but I don't even know. I think I would think about that one.
And I always forget his name.
Estupinian from Brighton. Yeah, that's one that that's another one where I was like, outside of those 2, like.
And even then, I don't have any questions about Chilwell. I'm fucking questioning Chilwell.
I love Chilwell. Chilwell's great.
Outside of those 2, like, to me, I'll think about it. Like, it's not obvious anymore. Like, outside of maybe a handful of players, it's like I would strongly consider it. Like, I'd be like, I think this 20-year-old is better, and I think he's only going to improve.
Yeah, I have nothing to say. I told you what I thought the other day. I named my 3 left backs, but we'll see how it goes. He's still early days.
Yeah, I don't want to put the cart
would be the best left back.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse, which I'm currently doing. But like,
I was gonna say
you're doing hella.
You're putting him so high on that pedestal right now.
I don't think you can speak, my boy.
Yeah. What did I do?
No. I'm just saying. I'm with you, but like that midfield.
We'll clip it.
We're
at the end of the season,
midfield in the entire world.
Yeah, you can't talk on what I said is not as ridiculous as that.
Did you see the way this man Enzo fucking has played the last 3 games?
One player in that second best midfield.
One of them has played a game in 20 minutes, and the other one hasn't even fucking played yet. I don't want to hear it, Daniel.
We'll get to Chelsea. We'll get to Chelsea.
They all play together, motherfucker.
In December. Okay,
right.
Well, until then, you also cannot say you have the second best midfield when you guys aren't in Europe.
On paper. What the fuck does it matter? We didn't have him last season, so what the fuck does it matter?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Last time, does anyone have anything they want to say about Spurs, Bournemouth, or anything about either of those 2 teams?
Not me.
What was the final score of that game? Bournemouth and
2-0.
Spurs?
2-0 Spurs.
No.
Abdon, any takes?
Richarlison.
You look like a man of takes right now.
Richarlison is still ass.
Fair enough. I can't even argue.
This man Jackson equaled his goal tally for Tottenham in 1 game. In 3 games.
Do you guys have another striker on deck currently?
We have
that kid from Argentina.
Yeah, but he's not ready to go. So I mean, honestly, I would like
Viejo guy.
Valise, yeah.
Valise, that's what it was.
Richarlison's going to be seeing a lot of playing time. Like, there's no excuses now, unless we buy a striker in the last week of the window. Not even week.
3 days. 2 days.
I do not want Danjuma back.
Wait. Last season you were raving about him, and I told you he was trash, and you were like, "Nah, You don't understand
Who?
you don't understand the quality of this guy.
Don Jr.
Now he plays
He
for
was
Everton.
the Villarreal loanee.
Now he plays for
He's
Everton.
at Everton?
Yeah, he's on Everton now. Yeah.
When?
Yeah. Since the beginning of the season, I think. I don't know if they bought him permanently or loaned them, but I remember telling Eddie, and Eddie was like, "No, you just don't know the way we ball." And I was like, "Okay."
To be fair,
I didn't know that.
he scored on his debut.
Yeah, I told you he was still.
I was so hyped.
Well, what's his face? The Dutch kid also scored on his debut.
Troy Parrott?
The Mourinho signing.
Bergwijn?
Oh,
Bergwijn.
Bergwijn.
Yep, but at least Bergwijn had a lot more potential. He just flopped.
And then Bergwijn had that hat trick against Leicester in that insane comeback win. He came off the bench and got a hat trick,
yeah.
and then he scored 2 goals in like 90 plus. That was crazy.
You know
that game was insane.
You know something? You sent that message the other day about who was better. I think if Bergwijn was in the system, he would eclipse Pulisic's and Pepe's careers at Chelsea and Arsenal, respectively.
Okay, eclipsing Pepe's is not hard.
Neither is eclipsing Pulisic's at Chelsea
At least Pulisic was amazing in the lockdown.
for like 6 games.
Got us Champions League.
He got 1 goal. Good for him.
He got more than 1 goal.
I don't know. I'm just trying to route Eddie up.
It's not gonna work. Like it's not.
It's not.
I mean, he can only do it
when what you say is so dumb, it just doesn't faze me. It hurts more when there's a little bit of like fact behind it.
There was fact behind it.
That's just wrong.
The only thing that I have to say, I cannot defend anybody else's opinions, because I know Abdon was shitting on him in the group chat that we had on Twitter.
Ooh.
I never said that Pulisic was a bad player.
I know. I was
He's a
not
good
targeting
player.
you.
He just did not.
He's
not
not
Chelsea is
cut
not
out
good.
for the Premier League. He's not cut out
Yeah.
for the Premier League. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be told, oh, he scores all the time for fucking US. Who is he playing against? I don't rate the CONCACAF. I'm sorry. So, oh my god, connection.
He scores
my bad.
against Mexico. every time.
I respect it. Nah,
My bad.
listen.
I was gonna say, Abdon,
but-
you're from Venezuela. You're in the mutts.
Nah, listen.
Yeah,
listen.
I
He
don't-
probably scored 4 on Venezuela.
Oh, he would score
Yeah.
8 on us.
No, you know what though? I don't think he wasn't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he wasn't cut out for the Prem. I just think it was a bad relationship between him and Chelsea. I think we bought a kid that had a lot of
He was
potential.
under
That
like
didn't fit
4
our
different
system.
managers.
Yeah,
and he
and
couldn't cut it out with any of them.
you're telling me that our 4 different managers played very differently. We have the most attack by a coach
some of
we've
them
had in a long time. We're still playing basically 5 in the back.
When you all play like shit, it just looks the same.
I also don't understand this thing where it's like if a player like not cut out for the Prem, like if a player doesn't succeed in the Premier League, and I'm not just saying this about Pulisic, I'm saying this about anyone, and it's too early to tell with Pulisic in Serie A, even though he has 2 goals in 2 games, it looks really good. We act like a player who isn't lighting up the Prem, but then goes to Serie A and lights it up, or goes to La Liga and lights it up. Like we act like that's a bad thing just because he's not doing it in the Prem. Like I think the Prem glazing has gotten a little too far. Like Serie A is a really good league. Like La Liga is a really good league. Like if you go and are successful in that league, there's no shame in that. Like if you didn't work out in the Prem, it sucks, but because it's the most popular league in the world. But Serie A and La Liga are nothing to like turn your nose up at.
I'm telling you this right now, Eddie. You have changed a lot since you have more Americans in Italy. I'm not gonna lie to you, because last season I remember talking about how Italy was an underrated league and a very competitive league, and you were like, "Is it competitive? Is it though?" And now that more Americans are there,
I just said that because Napoli had a 20-point lead on the league.
Yeah.
It was not a competitive, as far as the race goes, it was not a competitive
No, but I'm
league.
not talking. I'm
that
not
was
talking
what
about.
I said.
But I'm not talking about. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about, from 2nd to 5th, it's a very competitive league. From if you drop down in like 8th or 9th in that league, it's a very competitive league. I was saying this last season, and you guys were like, "No, it's really not. You are being like delusional." Maybe not.
It's
I
just
do
hard
not
to
do
call a
that.
league competitive when the team at the top has 20
so
20-point lead.
But you call the Prem competitive.
Because it was.
It's not. It has one season it's been competitive. I mean, you're talking about 2
It
teams.
was competitive every year with City and Liverpool.
Yeah, with 2 teams that were like 30 points ahead of everybody. How's that competitive? it's competitive for 2 teams. Everyone else is trash. That's not competitive league. I'd rather one team. I'd rather be like one team.
Are we the farmers?
We are the farm. The Premier League is the farmers
Fucking
league.
Holland
You
is
know.
making us
But
a
you also
farmer.
have to think like there's also a lot of competition in relegation and in top 4, top 5, top 6 now. So
Yeah, I get that. So is there in Italy.
I never said that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You know, like everyone, like even when I mentioned it last season, I was like, you know, Italy's a good league. You know, Spain's competitive. Everyone was like, "Is it really though?" And then you know they point out,
I'm pretty sure.
You did not group me in that.
I'm pretty
I'm not
sure
grouping you in there.
we were saying
Said
that
everybody.
Italy is
Everybody.
the second best league now. I'm pretty sure that's what we were saying. I think Brandon was the one shitting on Italy.
He probably was. Ryan shuts in every league.
I don't even
Brandon
know why.
shits on every
He's a-
league that's not the Prem.
Arsenal wouldn't win in the
He's a
Italian
Napoli
league.
fan.
Yeah, that's
Fan.
true. Yeah, fan. Is he even a fan?
Okay,
Love you, Brandon.
we
Gotta
got
watch
sidetracked a
the
little bit.
highlight
Oh, yeah, I
of
forgot to
last
mention
week.
no Brandon here. Not that anyone cares.
Damn.
Jesus.
Should we? Where should we go? Where do we want to go? I'll decide where to go. Liverpool, Newcastle.
Ooh.
Real quick before we get
Nunez,
back
dude.
into our teams. I didn't watch the first half, so I can't really touch on the first half on the red card and the way
The
that
first
changed the
half
game.
was pretty unforgettable, apart from the red card. For the
Unmemorable
most
or
part,
unforgettable?
I heard Trent should have been on a red too.
Who?
Trent should have been on a red too. Apparently,
What did he do exactly?
I don't know. I heard about it. People were complaining that he was only on a yellow.
Maybe he should have got a second yellow card. I don't know.
Yeah, he should have gotten a second yellow, but he should have been on a red, 2 reds in that game.
Van Dyke's. I don't.
I think
It's kind of hard to say. Like it really
It is
could go
hard to
either
say.
way.
I don't
like
think.
I would have understood either decision. Like I understand why he gave
Yeah.
a red, but I also would have understood it if he didn't.
I mean, it was last man. It was a goal scoring opportunity. I think it is red.
Right. By the laws of the game, that is a red card.
And
But
that's very evident when you've got Isak going in on goal. Like, it's a pretty high likely opportunity. Like, that's not like just anybody, like a 19-year-old going up there that has no credentials. That's Isak going through on goal, being held back by Virgil van Dijk, the last man. You know, without Virgil holding him back, he's through on goal. That's a goal scoring opportunity. That's a red card.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and
like-
then no, go ahead, Jose.
No. I was just gonna say, you know, I was gonna reference back to the Martinez one. And I was like, if that one is people are saying, oh, that was a clear goal scoring opportunity, then Isak's is fucking like it's black and white. Like that is you know, case closed. That is a red card. Like I don't think Virgil can argue against that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And so then obviously second half, Ed Stradamus came out because I texted in the group 5 minutes before the goal. I said, Newcastle better put these chances away because I can see Liverpool getting a point on one of these counters, off of one of these counters. I ended up actually being wrong because I only said 1 point, but Darwin Nunez ended up scoring twice off of 2 really nice finishes. The first one especially was so class.
Yeah.
And I guess Liverpool are like me and Daniel in co-op seasons where they just play better when they're down a man.
No, I think
Just get more
I think
compact.
yeah.
They're trying to shoehorn fucking Endo in as a DM who's just not made for the way that Klopp wants to play. And I've already told you guys, I don't fucking rate Newcastle. I don't rate Liverpool this year until they get another signing. We'll see who they bring in. But Newcastle, I don't rate Eddie Howe. I don't rate the squad.
Whoa.
I think Tonali's
whoa.
I think Tonali's good. I don't clip it. I don't give a fuck. But right now, this season, I have not seen anything from Almiron or Isak to make it seem like it wasn't just a half season wonder. So
I'll give you Almiron for sure.
So let's pump the brakes. Tonali looks classo. Fucking Liverpool got out by the skin of the teeth because I don't care what anyone says. If those 2 goals from Darwin Nunez that were sensational strikes don't go in, we're talking about a very unhappy Liverpool fan base. Liverpool did not play good at all.
Right.
So they're happy because they got the 3 points, but they are not title contenders just because of this fucking one game.
No.
And
No.
they have a lot of work to do.
Let me ask you something though, Abdon. Let me ask you something. Do you not think that, I understand that your opinion of Newcastle and the manager is one thing, but do you not think Newcastle are just going through some growing pains also as a team? Because I know that they need more depth. No one's arguing that, but I also think that we're being really harsh when the last 2 games they played is against Manchester City and Liverpool. And I know Liverpool are going through their own problems, but it's still Liverpool. I mean, offensively at least, they're still great. And Newcastle, they hit the post, twice? Once? I don't remember how many times exactly they hit the post. Like, they had chances to put that game away, but that's definitely a learning curve on their mentality of, not being so passive like they did in the second half. Like, they became so, not lethargic, but so just calm, carefree almost. And they were bidding
That's just what's going to come with being a so-called big club.
Exactly. So do you not think they're just going through growing pains?
No, because if they're going to be in the Champions League, if they're going to try and be the Big 7, if they're going to try and shoehorn themselves into the Big 6, they got to figure it out. They're spending too much money for it to not be, more
Newcastle or Liverpool?
Newcastle.
Okay.
Liverpool's not spending shit. Let's be honest here. I don't even know if Liverpool have the money to even have bought Caicedo. I think that was all up front at this point.
Probably. They're going to do like installments every year.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. Go ahead.
But with Newcastle, I think they struck while the iron was hot. They got in Eddie Howe and it just worked out. I'm not seeing the signs just yet. I understand they're buying a couple new pieces, but they're at the max. They can't buy any more players. So what they have is what they have.
Right.
They can't spend any more. Like, they're apparently, from my understanding, they're out of money. They're not selling anybody. They couldn't even fucking buy. All they got was Lewis Hall. They couldn't even buy him. They had to fucking put him on a loan and buy him next year.
I don't think they're out of money. I think it's FFP. Because
but that's what I mean. Is out of money that way.
But like, is that? But you also like, this isn't the time when Manchester City were also in the same spot where they were buying loads of players, spending a lot of money when they first got the money and could buy a bunch of players, then flop, buy a new set of players, then flop. Not Liverpool. Newcastle have to go through this period of like, we don't have players in our squad that can sell for high value. So we have to kind of navigate our way better. And they've spent money, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they haven't, no one they've signed has been a flop. And I mean, like...
Quick question.
Hmm.
Who is the manager of City and who's the manager of Newcastle?
Yeah, but who is that's perfectly fine. You're talking about someone that has, has experience.
We're talking about maybe one of the best of all time managers, and we're talking about Eddie Howe.
Yeah, and that's
One's
not
got
fair.
Money in the bank, the other one doesn't.
And that's not fair either, because I also think that like, if we're gonna sit there and be honest, and I'm not trying to rile Daniel up, but I've said many times, like, Pep Guardiola has always had money, so that's not even a conversation piece. He's never had to do what Eddie Howe's doing right now, which is having to build a squad slowly.
We act like
over
Eddie
years
Howe's
of time.
team doesn't have money.
No, they're
the richest. They're the richest team.
Yeah, but that's also very different because when Pep Guardiola came into City already were a very established club, already challenging for titles. They were already established club. Don't even. They won 3 Premier League titles before he got there, and they were already in the Champions League.
When was the last time they won the title before? Pep
2014, and Pep got there in 2016. What are you talking about? They won in 2011, 2014, and I think they won it again in 2012.
That's a big change. Dude, a lot can happen between 2014 and 2016 or 17 when he came in.
Dog.
That was a
dog. But let me tell you something right now. He also spent $500 million and $300 million back-to-back seasons on defenses. This isn't an argument about whether Eddie Howe's the same level of Pep Guardiola. I'm saying the situation's very different. And I don't think it's fair to sit there and go, well, obviously, who's the manager of Newcastle versus Manchester City? Because if it wasn't for Manchester City doing the things they've done, FFP wouldn't be where it is right now.
Hey, Jose, I'll be honest with you.
What's up?
Eddie and Daniel told me to do this.
That's fine. I'll fight this. I'll fight this. I'll climb this mountain. I've said it, and I'm very honest. I don't think I think we get Pep Guardiola. It's not even that I doubt Pep Guardiola is a good coach. I just think the media give him too much praise. I think that a lot of things that other people get attacked for, Pep Guardiola does the same thing and gets pushed under the rug.
Hey, I respect one thing for Pep. I respect one thing for Pep. Let me just say this really. This man came on an interview and said, "Why am I given time? It's not because of my name or my history. It's because I keep on winning." So the man keeps on winning. He's going to keep on getting his praises.
That's perfectly fine, but do it somewhere that's not Bayern, Barcelona, or Manchester
Do that
City.
Spurs.
Hey, Barcelona were kind of in the dumps whenever you got there.
No, I'm not having that. Not having that. They were in two Champions League finals. I'm not having that. Well, I've had this argument. I'm not having it.
We can do a separate podcast just dissecting Pep's career.
I will.
We honestly might as well. That would actually be kind of fun. Does anyone have anything else to say about it?
You know what? We should rename it Pep Talk and just have like a cartoon.
That's kind of fire. That's kind of fire. Does anyone have anything else about Liverpool, Newcastle, or shall we move on?
The only thing
did we even talk about Newcastle and Liverpool?
Yes, we did. We did.
The only
Daniel,
thing we didn't even make any remarks on Darwin Nunez.
I said
he did a little bit.
I said he scored two great goals.
Strikes.
We did a little bit, but we didn't really like. Could this be the season where he finally repays his? What was it? 100 million?
80 million pounds.
If they would just stop playing Gakpo up top and let Darwin Nunez play up top, they would.
Is he just a super sub? Maybe he's just the ultimate super sub.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
100 mil, there's something wrong with that.
No player wants
if he wins him the Prem, who the fuck cares? I'm not saying that he will, but I'm just saying like
the only player who would care is the guy who is the super sub. Because nobody.
I would just say I just think they just need to play him where he fits best. Like stop. Like I know for this game, like when you're down a man, you kind of have to just throw shit at the wall, see what happens. Like, but Gakpo's not a like he's not his best position's not center forward. It's not.
Yeah, but
it's left wing.
They keep playing him there, and I know they are kind of wing heavy. Just in general, they're kind of like forward heavy right now. Salah might be on his way out, so that would clear up a spot on the wing for Gakpo, and then you could play Nunez up top. And like honestly, it could send Nunez on running. Like he could have a really good season. I definitely see the vision with him. Like I think this could be the year where we see what we thought we were going to see last year.
It's just hard with Nunez though because. Even the season he broke out, with Benfica, he wasn't really. He kind of went out wide a lot towards the left flank. I don't even think Klopp really knows where his best position is, but I think he will work, like you said, in a system where they can kind of interchange positions. I don't even think Klopp really knows the best position to play him because it is not really a Klopp striker. I mean, like we've seen him with Firmino and we've seen him with Robert Lewandowski. Those are probably the two biggest strikers he's had. And they were both very different players. So,
there's nothing wrong with having a guy who can be kind of interchangeable and play at a bunch of different spots. Like that's really helpful sometimes.
Yeah, I just think that also is kind of holding Nunez back at the moment. Anyways, maybe the season will be a little bit better.
Yeah,
maybe give him a little bit more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if Salah leaves, I could see a system change.
Honestly, I think it'd be for the best. Kind of the same thing with Harry Kane.
Well, if Salah leaves, they don't have to keep on playing the 4-3-3. They could play a 4-1-2-1-2 diamond. Have a good defensive mid. You have your McAllister and Szoboszlai who are good 8s. You can have a Gakpo as a 10, and you have Darwin and Diaz as your 2 forwards.
Yeah,
they're both fast as shit. They can run the back line.
Yeah,
It
I
won't
agree.
work with it won't work with teams that sit back heavy. You know that like a fucking Burnley is gonna close up shop and not play them. But
I mean, we saw last year, and I know they ended up in fifth, so it's kind of like whatever. But we saw. I don't necessarily want to say a regression from Klopp's side, but like teams started to figure it out. Like it was not going well. It's almost like something needs to get. It looked like something needed to give, and they definitely like something needed to change. It wasn't working, and it ended up working, right? But like, let's say it hadn't ended up working. Let's say they finished eighth, ninth, like they were looking like they were gonna finish. Like,
I mean, without Salah, they do finish eighth. Without Salah,
yeah,
they might finish below Chelsea. Without Salah and Becker, without Salah and Allison fucking saved them a lot too.
So I mean, you definitely could make the argument that Liverpool just need to. I'm not saying overhaul, but maybe just kind of tweak some things and try some new stuff, and maybe try to reinvent what they've been doing. I don't know. I'm rambling. I don't know.
Well, it looks like they're going to have to because now with Salah on his way out, and it's hard to say no when the Saudi clubs are offering 160 for him.
Take it.
Especially for the club. Yeah.
I heard rumors that whichever Egyptian national TV station picks up the Saudi league will pay Salah too
Oh
a
Lord.
portion of the money they make.
Messi opened that door up.
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, just imagine Salah, who is Muslim in the Muslim capital of the world, making money off of the Egyptian TV rights. I mean, how do you pass it up?
Of sense.
How do you
It
pass
makes
it
so
up?
much sense.
No, you don't. He's done everything at this level. Like it's not. He has nothing left to lose. You know what I mean? He just has to win AFCON. That's about it. Because he's not going to win a World Cup with Egypt.
They're not going to win AFCON either.
They were in the finals last time. They could do it.
Were they
but
actually?
It's not gonna happen.
They lost to Sadio Mane, and I can't remember Sadio Mane plays for.
Senegal.
I remember that.
Yeah. So
I just don't remember Egypt being in that final.
they were. Yeah.
Didn't it go to PKs?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean,
all right.
But I think I agree with you guys on that because, like, who said about the rehaul? Because, I mean, yeah, because you have to look. That squad, I think, was it Trent, Salah, Becker, Van Dijk, and the left back. Can't think of his name right now.
Robertson.
They're like the only players that have survived that Champions League squad. That, the last time they went to the Champions League. Or not the Champions League, but was it when they won the Champions League in 2018?
2019.
2019. They're the only players that are still part of that squad. Everyone else has pretty much moved on. And Joe Matip, I guess, but Joe Matip looks like he's on the fringes there too. So he probably is time to just cash in on Salah and rebuild the squad with the 160 mil.
The issue is, will they actually use that 160 mil?
Probably not.
There's probably even if he were to be gone by tomorrow, there's not really enough time to.
No, there's not.
Well, also
to scout.
Is tomorrow deadline day?
Here's the issue.
2 days.
Is deadline day in Europe? It's not deadline day in Saudi.
Yeah, exactly.
Saudi's still open for another week or two.
But yeah, I don't know. I also aren't Liverpool's
If he
owners
puts in a
talking about
transfer
selling?
request and says I'm not playing,
Are we doing a deadline day special?
I'm down.
Maybe after everything goes
probably
down.
after. Are we gonna be fucking
Jump on
just Fabrizio Romano all day long?
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Put it on the Twitter.
I wish, dude. If we would have planned it earlier, I would have taken the day off. But anyway, yeah, I think that pretty much covers that. Unless anyone else has anything else they want to get off their chest on that game.
I'm done. I just want to apologize. I feel like I got a little louder in the Pep Guardiola thing. My bad, man.
They told me to instigate it, so
We
hey.
told them to. We told them to. We
No,
kind
yeah,
of.
but-
We
I
kind of
came in. I came in fully knowing what I was gonna get.
Yeah, but then I don't usually. I'm not usually that loud. That sounds like my bad. I think I got a
I
little
don't
too
give a
loud.
fuck.
I know you didn't, but I just
enjoyed
wanted
it.
to say
I
my bad,
enjoyed
man.
That's okay. Don't worry about me.
All right, let's go all the way back to Friday and let you two talk about Chelsea. If you guys want to kind of take the lead, go ahead.
Best team in the world. I don't know what else to say.
Okay, now we're just lying to the
I'm
fans.
glad
Man
$1 billion
City.
got you guys your first win since March.
First home win
Hey.
since March. Relax.
Hey,
No, it might be the first one. I don't remember.
you can only beat who you play.
Exactly.
That's true, but you played Luton. and
You also
pumped-
weren't beating who you played until Luton.
Whoa,
Yeah.
well, okay. Same thing I might do
Last
for
season didn't
Newcastle.
exist.
We
Last
we
season didn't exist.
we also played. What is it? We outplayed Liverpool. We got unlucky with Liverpool, and then West Ham has shown that they can be anybody.
West Ham might be the fucking title contenders this season, not Arsenal.
They're the best team
Who
in
the
London
fuck
at the
knows?
moment. They're the best team at London at the moment. They're good. So and then
These motherfuckers sold Rice and got better.
insane.
Dude, that is crazy though. They invested all $115 million off of
And
Rice
got better. And
into
got better.
3 new defenders.
And got
Three
better.
new midfielders.
Insane.
Yeah.
I think you said defenders. That sounds like 3 new midfielders.
Oh, maybe I did say defenders. I meant to say midfielders.
Completely new midfield.
But
Better.
either way,
And they're
It's better.
all young. Well, I say young. 2 of them are one's like entering their prime, one's a kid, and then one is like
In his prime.
a vet. Yeah.
So it's a good.
Either
That's a
way.
good looking midfield.
Chelsea.
But Chelsea, go
It's,
for it. Take the reins, boys.
Enzo looks like the man we thought he was gonna be. I don't care who the fuck it's against. He's played great against all 3 opponents.
Yeah, he's been sensational so far this season.
The fucking pre-assist he had for the Jackson goal was sensational. This guy double touches it up in the air and passes it to Sterling on a volley. It's not normal for a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. It's just not fucking normal. Sterling is finally looking like he's good. Let's hope it stays that way. I'm happy with the performance for the most part. The only thing that I didn't enjoy was after the first goal came in, we fell asleep for the rest of the first half. It was pretty fucking bad, to be honest. I was struggling. Daniel knows because I was on the phone with him.
When was the first goal scored?
20 minutes in, I think.
17th minute. 17th minute.
Yeah.
17,
Okay.
17, 68, and 75.
Okay.
So after the first goal came in, we fell the fuck asleep. I think if it was a different team other than Luton, we could have been punished.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that this is something that we have an issue with still, so it's something that Poch is gonna have to just fix. The inconsistencies. We have to be locked in every fucking game, especially since we don't have Europe. There's no reason for us to be looking like we're sluggish and tired at any point during the game. Jackson got his goal. Hopefully that takes away the little nerves. Am I gonna say it was the best goal ever? No, it's a tap in. But let's be honest here. The last fucking years that we've had with Lukaku and Havertz, they all miss that tap in. I'm not gonna say Jackson's the best fucking striker in the world, even though he is, but this man, I just need him to score the easy shit. And then he can go out and do a sensational goal every once in a while. I don't need him to score bangers every fucking game like Nunes or some shit. I just need to score the easy shit that we feed him. That's it.
Yeah.
Chilwell, with the stupidest fucking move I've ever seen in my life, robbed Jackson of an assist. I don't know why this man thinks that he wants to pass to Sterling when he's on goal. It was harder for him to pass the ball. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. He already played tongue in cheek with it in his Instagram post. You know, he said shooting practice tomorrow. Like, okay, not necessary, but okay. Gusto's looking great. Gusto's looking fucking amazing. He already has more assists than Wan-Bissaka in 3 games. Yeah, I mean, it was a all-around good performance. Second half was better than the first half, but I can't complain. 3-0 win. But just a better team might have punished us a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that we are still such a young team that they need to Poch needs to, kind of start instilling more of like better game management, better times to take your foot off the gas. Because in the first half, after you score a goal, is not the time. There's still a lot of time to be doing that. Or still a lot of time to get, counterattacked or another team to build up confidence and hit you before halftime, which then changes the game dramatically. Only thing I would say for Chelsea fans is I know Sterling looked great and I'm very happy and he's shown improvements. I mean, from Liverpool to Newcastle, or not Newcastle, to West Ham to this game, there's been a progressive improvement, but we have to see if he can continue it in the next game. Because who do you play next again? I can't remember.
I mean, technically Wimbledon. That's in the cup.
Right, but I mean in the league.
You'll play Nottingham Forest
That's right.
at home.
That's right. So we need him to continually improve, and I'm sure there'll be a drop off as we go up higher in the table. But if he can kind of keep around this level, it's great for him. It's great for Chelsea because he is a good player, and hopefully he can. He's one of our veterans, so we need him to kind of be able to perform well. To teach these kids some things because besides him and Thiago Silva, we don't have that many veterans. We have Ben Chilwell, and we have Reece James, but besides them,
I mean, Disasi has a decent amount of caps. He's 25 years old, so he's on the more mature side of it.
Right, but I guess I mean in the sense of like contending for like because those players have all won Champions Leagues, those players have all won Premier Leagues or different titles throughout their years. So.
Sterling never won a Champions League.
No, he never won a Champions League. You're right. He's mudded. But we got Reece James and Chilwell have both won Champions League. Thiago Silva's won one. Sterling's won Premier League titles. So I just think that I'm with you. I think that we have still a lot of growing pains we're going through, but I feel like every game it looks a little bit better. West Ham, at first we all thought was just one of those bad performances, but after you watch what they did against Brighton, I think it kind of changes people's perspective on the reality of what Newcastle is, which is a smashing, grab kind of team.
West Ham.
Yeah, who did I say?
Newcastle.
I keep saying Newcastle, my bad. West Ham, yeah. And like I said earlier, I think we said it before, we outplayed Liverpool and we were honestly unlucky to just get a draw. So,
we had played West Ham for a large portion of the game. It was just, they were clinical.
Yeah, I think it was the missed penalty. I think that's really where everything started changing. I think they felt once we missed the penalty, they could really get back in the game, and they did, and we just couldn't cope with it. So, it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. I think it's more positives than anything else. And they're getting more, they're gelling better, and like you said, with Jackson being able to score, I think that's something a lot of people are criticizing him on, and now that he's finally got a goal, maybe they'll kind of come consistently. If he can get another one against Nottingham, I think that'll do wonders for his confidence.
Yeah. But like I said, all I need him to do is just score the easy shit.
Exactly, and we created enough opportunities, for him to score an easy, like headed goal in there or a tap in.
His heading is awful, so it has to be the tap in.
He is, but he can improve on it. I mean, he should improve on it because if he can add that to his game, he's going to be lethal. Because I mean, like we've seen it, he's had so many opportunities in the box, with a header, and he's skied them or put them off target. But if he can get that down, where he's hitting the target consistently, he's going to score from those. And like you said, if he can score from the tap-ins that we create, that Kai Havertz and Romelu Lukaku weren't doing, that's going to help us tremendously.
And his Lincoln play is great too.
Phenomenal. I really wish we were playing a 4-3-3 so we could see it more with Mudryk and stuff. I know Mudryk was injured for last.
We're technically playing a 4-3-3 just with
Chilwell as a left wing, which I don't think. I think that negates the best qualities of Chilwell. Because, like you said, where he was passing it, he robbed Jackson from an assist. Yeah, I think yeah, he probably shouldn't have been passing there, but also he's not an offensive-minded player. He probably didn't have the confidence to take that strike from
But
that
if we're going to
angle.
be playing this system, I think that Maatsen should be in. Maatsen is more offensively inclined than Chilwell.
I agree with that.
I understand there's a difference in styles of play, but instead of doing this 3-4-1, 3-4-2-1, this 4-3-3 fucking hybrid shit, just take out Silva or Disasi, one of the two. Leave Colwell as a left center back, put Chilwell as a conventional left back, and put Maatsen as left wing.
I agree.
Play both of them.
I 100% agree with you. Because I think that'll get the best out of the team.
Yeah. But maybe he doesn't want to do that because we're apparently going to loan out Kukurea, so we don't want to possibly lose Chilwell and Maatsen in the same game.
That's true. And I mean, but I don't know, then he's going to have to make a decision because you're going to have to play one or the other, which means you're probably going to go back to a 4-3-3 because you can't.
I think the reason as well is that Chilwell's playing is because he made him the fucking vice captain. With Reece James being out, you can't drop the captain for the game.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but like you said, I think it'd be better to put him back as a left back, and then if you're not gonna play Ian Maatsen, well, it's time they finally give Mudryk his run of games.
That too, as well, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it seems like it's gonna go that way, but he's shocked me honestly with how many times we've gone back with that hybrid, 3-5-1, whatever it is, 4-3-3. Like, it is. I'm not mad at it. I just don't think it's the best. It's the best system we can use for this team.
Especially against his lower teams. We just got to go offensive on him.
Yeah, which I think we did against Hull, but I mean, or not Hull, Luton. But I also, Luton is a lot of people's, pick to finish 20th. So, unfortunately for them, I hope that they can surprise a few. But I mean, we really should have been walking away with 3 points, and we did. So it was job done, expectations met. But I can't really think of anything else I want to talk about on there. I mean, Caicedo played a much better game. Again, it's against Luton, but that's good for him.
Started off rough, but by the end, he was doing what we bought him for.
Yeah, to hold the midfield play. And I mean, he was part of that link up. He threaded the pass to Malo Gusto, who, crossed into Sterling and got that assist. So, it's good for him to also get some playing time under his belt, Yeah. So, I'm all for it. I think it's positive days for us Chelsea fans.
My man Daniel over here fighting for his life.
All right.
I was getting a little sleepy.
Yeah,
it was an early start for me because I went to the gym this morning. I went to go return a book so I can get $150 back. Went to class and then I went to work.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Man City and then we can wrap up.
The rich being the poor.
Daniel,
again.
Go ahead and hang on. I want to know what we're talking about.
2-1 City, Sheffield.
Yeah.
There it is, yeah. Sheffield 2-1. Were you worried?
Going into the game, no. They're probably going to be a relegation candidate. I knew they were going to be sitting back most of the game, and they did. I was not worried up until when Erling Haaland missed that penalty. I really thought it was either going to be a 0-0 game or 1-0 to Sheffield. Mm-hmm. Up until that point, I was just fine. And then when Haaland missed that penalty, I was like, we're either going to walk away with 1 point or Sheffield's going to walk away with all 3 points. And then Erling Haaland scored. And that calmed my nerves down a lot. And up until that point, we were still in control of the game. But then Walker made such a stupid fucking choice, which was he tried to be cute and in our own box, he won the ball and tried to backheel it, and him backheeling it went to a Sheffield player, and they essentially scored a goal off of his own flick. But then after that, he responded very well, and he tried to create something. He created 2 chances. His first chance, he passed it to Foden. Foden was in, and he missed it. And then he passed it again in the box because like 3 or 4 minutes later, he won the ball back again. Did the exact same run, which was that he just blitzed through the right wing, passed it into the box, and then Rodri came in clutch and won us the game. But it was a lot more challenging than it should have been. We made it much more harder than it should have been, and that was our own fault. But all in all, I was pretty happy with the performance. I was really happy with the way Walker responded. He could have easily been, negatively affected by the whole thing because it was his own error that led to that goal. But he responded very well, and we won the game. I'm happy with the 3 points.
Yeah, my immediate thought after that, and it's not even like this isn't even like me being like a dick to my rival. This is just genuinely how I feel in this situation. Is like those are the types of games that Arsenal drop points, and like we literally saw it this week with Fulham. Like that's what separates City from Arsenal. Is City find ways to win those games? Arsenal, I don't want to say they find ways to not win, but tight games like that against, as Abdon likes to say, relegation fodder, like tight games like that, Arsenal they just always drop points. They find ways to lose. Whereas City they never get worried, they never panic. They just always find ways to get the results that they need, and I think that's what took them over the top last season, and probably going to do the same again this season. So
Well, the
that
issue
was
is
just my
that
observation.
They've been there, they've done that. They have too much experience to blink in those situations. Whereas, Arsenal, they just got there for 6 months and then they dropped off. They don't know how to sustain it over those years, and that's just something that you gain with experience. And our City does a very good job of replacing the older players and bringing a new crop, but you still have the same rotating, you know, experience that's always there. Holland was new last year. You brought him in. He got the treble. Now he's an experienced player. Grealish is experienced now. Fucking Walker's always there. He's always reliable. He'll once they replace him, they'll get somebody else and he'll have a whole back line that's experienced around him. Silva's experienced. Fucking Rodgers experienced. Kovacic, he's not experienced with the Pep system, but he's experienced with Madrid and Chelsea. There's just too much experience for them to fail. Whereas Arsenal just haven't done it before. They still have to do it before they can get over the line, cross the line.
It's championship mentality. I know Arsenal have Zinchenko, Jesus, Declan Rice,
Kai Havertz.
Kai Havertz as well. Well, Kai Havertz is a fraud, but that's a different day.
Won a Champions League.
But
still beat you.
He did, but he's proven after that
that
season.
He can beat you.
Well, not even
that
after that.
Beat you.
Even during that season, majority of that season, he was a fraud, and then every season after that, he's been a fraud. And so far this season, he's been a fraud.
But experience.
They already want to drop him.
Experience, but he's a fraud. But anyways, we're going back to last season. That just kind of shows why we won the league and they didn't. I know they had Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, but they were absent at the most vital point of their season, and they had no player who was in that experience of a title race. So that's why they lost. And now they don't really have that excuse because they had leaders like Declan Rice. They had, well, not even just Declan Rice. They had all those players who they still don't, for the most part, a lot of them don't know what it's like to win silverware and what it means to compete at that high level. But at least they have a better understanding of where they need to go different and what they need to do in order to not fall back into that pit. But it's like you said, that it happened again last week against Fulham, and it's exactly what you said. There's a fine line between Arsenal and City in terms of mentality, because we find ways to come back even when we're behind or we're not playing well. That game we played I don't want to say we played very well, but we played better than Sheffield. We should have got the 3 points, and we did. But there were points in that game where I really thought that we were not going to win. There was even a point where I thought we were going to lose. But yeah, it's just a fine line between champion mentality and a team like Arsenal who don't really have that experience yet.
Yeah, and I hate to break it to the Arsenal fans, but I love Declan Rice. I think from the interviews I've seen of him, he's a nice guy, and I mean we know he's a good player. But let's be honest, he's not a champion. Like, yeah, he's done a couple things at the international level. So have a lot of players that haven't gone on to win many big accolades.
He won the Conference League.
He won the Conference League, absolutely. But let's not act like he wasn't part of a West Ham that was fighting, that was inconsistent. One season they're going for the top 6, next season they're fighting against relegation. He's not a player that's going to change the mentality. And I know I brought up Kai Havertz for the lulls, but also Kai Havertz, we weren't in a title challenge when he was there at Chelsea. It's bringing in experience, and that's one thing. And you're right, they were in a title challenge last year, but they still have, and I agree with you 100% now. Because even with the title challenge experience, they still don't know what it's like to win it. So that even this season, I can still see them dropping points because they've never won a title. They don't know what that's like. And
you know what's gonna be their downfall this season?
What's that?
The amount of money. No, the amount of money that Arteta paid on Havertz. The politics of the club is going to force him to play the Havertz,
Probably.
and he's not built for the system that they need to play. He's not built for the Prem in general, but the way that they're playing the 4-3-3, they're shoehorning him as the 8. He's not an 8. They try and put him as a second striker. He's not a second striker. Try and put him as a false 9. He's not a false 9. But right now they're forcing their best DM as a right back in Partey just to put Havertz in. And
they need to just no. Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
I was gonna say they need to just bite the bullet and sit him and play with Odegaard, Rice, and Partey as the midfield.
If he was smart, he would do that, and maybe he has the thoughts of doing that. But I think the politics of the club spending 65 mil on him, even if he drops him, he'll get pressure from internally to try him again. There'll be pressure to give him another shot, give him a run of games, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be his downfall, or maybe this will be, Wenger's downfall was what's his name, Xhaka.
Mm-hmm.
This might be Arteta's Xhaka.
Well, and then I agree with you. I also think what we're saying about Arteta is that he doesn't have a great idea on what he needs or how to build a squad correctly. Because when you look at last season, the players that really were big for him, a lot of them were already at the club. You had Saka and Nketiah. You had Martinelli, Xhaka. I mean, he brought in Odegaard. Fair enough. Was Partey there? Partey he brought in, right?
He brought in.
So Partey's been there for a couple seasons. But and he brought in Ramsdale and a couple other players. I mean, I'm not saying he hasn't brought in good players. What I mean is now he's going through the growing pains of I don't know how much control he has there, but from what the sound of it is, him and Edu kind of work hand in hand with bringing in the players for the system. And I think when you look at some of the players, I think Timber's a great signing, unlucky with the injury. But then you look at Kai Havertz, it's okay, why are you bringing Kai Havertz in? I understand, I can kind of understand maybe what you were trying to do, but I don't think it's going to work. And if you're as technically flexible as you've proven to be, you're going to have to make changes. You're going to have to be tough now because that's a mistake that you've made. You can't just, continue to play him in the way he's playing when it's not working. So,
Well, the issue as well is you have Martinelli,
mhm,
you have Saka, you have Odegaard. He cannot drop those three. He
exactly.
spends 100 million on Rice, cannot drop Rice at all. Partey is his best defensive mid. He doesn't want to drop him, but he's putting him somewhere else that doesn't work out for the system.
Mhm.
You have Partey going right back. He cannot. He doesn't have the link up that I can't remember who played that Ben White does
Mm-mm.
with Saka on the right. So Saka looks like shit. You have fucking Tomiyasu playing left back. He's not a good left back. He needs Sinchenko to come back or Timber to help with Martinelli because Martinelli looks like shit right now. The whole team is just playing like shit because he's moving around these pieces. Of course, one side was because of the injury on Timber and Sinchenko. They're both fucking injured. But the right side and the middle of the park are just suffering because of this one fucking player.
Yeah, and,
He
and I
can't
agree
drop.
with
He
you.
can't
Yeah.
drop Odegaard. He can't drop Odegaard to put Havertz there.
No, and I
So
think I
where's he
think
put
he's,
him?
yeah, and I think he's trying to also replicate, like you said, where he's putting Partey at right back. I think he's trying to replicate what Zinchenko did, which is why we keep seeing Tomiyasu move to the left. But it's different because at least Zinchenko can play left back decently and play the midfield well, whereas Partey isn't a great substitute as a right back. So that system hasn't changed, and I think that system doesn't work with Partey being the inverted fullback. So he has to change a lot. He has to change the entire system. I think with the injuries, you have to cope with those injuries.
No, he has to go back.
Yeah, that's
He
what I
has to
mean.
go
You have
back
to
to what
change
was
it
working for him.
exactly back to a 4-3-3 regularly. He needs to play Tomiyasu in the right. Well, now they only have Tierney because Tierney got moved, didn't he? He got on the loan
Loaned
deal.
out.
Yeah, so they don't even have a left back now. So he's kind of forced to make do with what he's got, which means probably some more youngsters are going to come through. Which I mean, his team was built, or not built, but a lot of the players that have shined in this team were youngsters. So maybe it's time for him to bring in the left back and the right back that are from the academy. Maybe, and you're right. I think it's time to go back to Odegaard, Partey, and Rice in the midfield, and Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah up front. And he just needs to play a regular 4-3-3 for now, and then play simpler football. Because I also think that he's trying to do too much. And like in the same way I criticized Pep Guardiola during like a lot of Champions League runs and stuff, where like you could see he overthought it. I think I think Arteta's overthinking it now.
Unless he drops Nketiah / Trossard and puts Havertz as a 9.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I
But
just feel like
even Havertz himself said, I'm not a 9. I don't like playing a 9, but I'll do what the team needs me to do. He said that himself.
Yeah, I think what sucks for him is I think his best position is a cam role, is a 10 role, but no
That's
team.
Odegaard.
Yeah, exactly. No team wants to play a traditional. But even Odegaard doesn't really play a traditional 10. He plays a
But
little.
let's say that if you got Rice, who's a more offensively minded DM, you have Partey, who's a very defensive minded DM.
Mhm.
You could play a 2-6 system with Odegaard as the 10.
Yeah, that floats around. That kind of roams from his position. I agree, 100%.
You could do that, but then you can't drop Odegaard for Havertz unless you put Havertz in as fucking just Odegaard backup for the rest of the fucking season.
No, I think what it's gonna be is I think as the games come thick and quick, I think that's when we'll see more of like a transition between the two. If he goes back, I don't know if that's his plan or not. I think if he can go back, or once we have the string of games, if he starts doing that, we'll see more of a one game Kai Havertz is playing, one game Odegaard's playing. Odegaard's is the undisputed starter. I mean, he's the captain.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you were saying earlier with Chilwell, like you can't just drop your captain. So Kai Havertz is gonna have to play second fiddle or change as a player. Which I mean, I think Arteta could do some good coaching, but I just there's a lot of tendencies Kai Havertz has that have been there for so long that I don't think you can change him as a complete player. Like you're gonna have
I don't
to
even
play him in his best position, which is
I don't even think it's fucking tendencies. It's just inabilities. Not physically, it's mentally. This guy doesn't read the game quick enough for the Prem.
And that might be true. You're probably right because we've seen it also with Jay and Sancho coming from the
In
Bundesliga.
Germany, you have a lot of time to to get on the ball and think. In the Prem, you have no time to think. I don't think he's able to adapt, and not everyone can adapt to the Premier League speed.
Yeah,
This isn't a Premier League versus the rest of the fucking leagues, and what's better or not. It's just the style of play in the Premier League is too quick for Havertz.
Yeah, the pressing, the high intensity, it's very quick and very hard, and you're probably right. He probably doesn't have that switch to kind of turn it on and at that quick of a speed. Could he? I mean, maybe, but with coaching, but that's
I mean, we're 3 years into this experiment in the league. He's played every fucking position in the front six.
yeah. But again, I think, like I said, I think it's one of those things. Also, it's like you can play a player wherever you want. How you can give him as many opportunities in different positions you want. But if you're not giving him a chance in his best position,
But
then you
what's his
just
best position?
behind as a cam behind
Behind
being
the
a
striker.
cam, being allowed to free roam and also be able to move up in the box, but not being the sole target man, which a lot of teams that made Chelsea made him kind of like a target man.
No, we
And
did it with Lukaku.
we did with Lukaku too, and I mean we also
No, we
Lukaku,
played him as the second striker with Lukaku, and it still didn't work out.
we yeah, but I also think Lukaku also lost form really. That whole team lost form really quickly under Tuchel as well. So I mean, but that's
I'm thinking about it before the interview.
yeah, and that's fair. I mean,
Even though we were in a title race before the interview, so
yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think he was awful. I don't think he was lighting the world on fire, but I don't think he was
Yeah.
awful. I think he was better than when he's been now and than when he was after Lukaku at Chelsea. So I don't know. I just think that he needs to be given a fair run of games in his best position. That's really all I can say about it. And I'm not trying to say and be like Kai Havertz is gonna come good. He may not. I mean, like you say, he's been here for 3 years. We haven't really seen a vast improvement from him. I just think that now Arteta has to make decisions. They bought this player. He probably had a big hand in it. It's not working out, so he needs to change the system with the injuries and come out with a more simple strategy in the upcoming games because they need to start winning more convincingly. I guess is a better way to say that.
yeah, better said.
Because they're winning, but they're making too many
They're not
mistakes.
convincing.
It's looking
Yeah.
drastic.
Let me ask you a question though. This is to the three of you. Do you guys think that? I don't think the mistake from him was that big of a deal. I think that was more of a team mistake, and he was just caught out of position because he plays so high up. But do you think Ramsdale is at risk of losing his starting spot?
I would say yes, because they bought Jose Rea,
David.
who's
David Rea.
also
David Rea.
or David Rea. I don't know why I said Jose Rea.
It's okay.
They bought. Well, isn't there? Okay, well, before I go on, isn't there
There's
a
a-
player named Jose Rea?
Jose Sa.
Jose San, and there's a Jose
So
Reyes.
Jose
probably.
saw, yeah, the Portuguese goalkeeper. No, but isn't there a player, like a Spanish player named Jose Rea?
Probably.
Anyway, they bought Rea, who's a pretty solid goalkeeper. I don't think he was the best. I don't think he was top 5 last season, but he's definitely a top goalkeeper. I still think for the most part, I don't think Ramsdale is going to lose his spot, but when you get rid of your second goalkeeper to bring in another goalkeeper to challenge for, like, I don't think they brought in, like, they could have easily kept, what's his name, Matt Turner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they could have easily kept Matt Turner and been happy with Ramsdale being number 1, but bringing Raya in my opinion, I think he's a better goalkeeper than Matt Turner, and I don't think they brought in someone like him if they weren't going to push Ramsdale. So I think for the most part, Ramsdale will still have a spot, but there's that little margin where I think he could creep into the first team. I don't think Ramsdale makes a lot of mistakes, but I just think there's that little piece of me that thinks that he could creep into the first team.
Raya's gonna just be like that snail that follows you around, like the question where it's like, would you accept eternal life, but a snail has to follow you around? That's what Raya's gonna be like. He's just always Ramsdale's just always gonna know that Raya's right there, and I think that is probably like meant to help him. It's meant to help him work harder, and it's always good to have competition. So,
Sometimes it doesn't.
I don't know.
Sometimes as a goalkeeper, you don't want to have competition. Sometimes as a goalkeeper, you want to know you're the guy, and then you have your second goalkeeper for the cups. Oh, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, that's fair. I was just gonna say I agree with Daniel, though. I think it's still Ramsdale's spot for the foreseeable future, but Raya's a very good option.
I think they evaluate during the international break that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I think unless Ramsdale has another fucking blunder like he did during Fulham, then you might go a little drastic and send them out there. But I think they evaluated for the cup game that they're about to play, and then the international break they might think about it and figure it out.
Yeah, because honestly, this is the best time, like we were saying, to try out Raya as the goalkeeper, and also try a more simple strategy. With changing the system with the injuries. So it'll be a big week for Arsenal coming up.
Plus, is Raya even going to get called up to the first team or to the Spanish team? I mean,
no, I think that's Unai Simon. No, that's
Simon, yeah.
Yeah, that's Simon. That's Simon's spot now. De Gea got.
Could be Raya's though.
Yeah, but Raya isn't playing right now, and Simone is playing, and De Gea wasn't.
Simone is good.
Yeah,
they'll probably call up Kepa too as a backup.
Yeah, he's been doing good at Madrid.
I don't know. He had a howler the other day.
It didn't count.
Kepa always has a
It
howler.
didn't count?
It was offside. It didn't count. The goal didn't stand.
Was it actually?
Yeah, they got clean sheet.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It was a
All right,
howler.
well,
it was a howler.
The goal before it got ruled out from VAR was a howler.
It doesn't matter. History won't remember it.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's not a goal. But I'm just saying, if VAR didn't interfere, it was a howler.
It was definitely a howler. A howler. You're right.
Yeah.
I hope they buy them.
All right. Well, does anyone?
You don't want them to buy them?
No, I think Kepa can still come good. I've said it. I think Kepa can still come good. Maybe I'm delusional. Kepa's one. I think that I don't know.
You are.
He kept so many clean sheets last season. He
only has two seasons left on this contract. We're not gonna sign him for another contract.
Yeah, but what if he comes like Manuel Neuer-esque at Real Madrid? Well, we're not going to keep him then because they'll be the same thing as Thibaut Courtois. Went to Spain, got good in Spain, came back and was like, nah, I don't want to be here.
Courtois was amazing here for half a season. He was ass. I don't want to hear it.
What, Courtois?
Yeah.
The Courtois that won us a title? That Courtois?
Yeah, he was amazing here, and then he was ass for like 6 months.
Yeah. Well, he left anyway, so who cares? But I think
anything else?
Was there any
Anyone?
other?
I'll add one thing. The comparison you guys are making to Ramsdale, I want to say I do feel for Smith Rowe. I think the fact that he got just like completely like at this point he fell out with Arteta unless it's for like a personnel reason, there's no reason why he should be that far down the pecking order. Because I understand that whenever they got Odegaard, it was just them two competing. And then he lost the spot to Odegaard, which is like very reasonable with how well he's been playing. So I thought he would be a good backup. But then they've got Vieira, which I thought was kind of unfair. And then the fact that they got Havertz is like, now he's just like, I think the only way he plays is if he leaves Arsenal, which I think is kind of shitty because I don't think he deserved that like at all. So I'll just say that like that was just the only thing I was going to add because I just think that whole thing for him has just been very unfair.
I mean, there's
him
in Chelsea.
Yeah.
Next time we talk, the window will be shut. So
yes,
I'm sure we'll have a lot. We'll probably dedicate an episode strictly to the window, just because hopefully there's a lot to talk about, and we can like grade teams and how their windows went. But Jose, you have one more thing.
There's apparently a mystery player that Chelsea are about to buy, a mystery attacker.
It's gonna be Mason Greenwood.
They're trying to, huh?
It's gonna be Mason Greenwood. You watch.
No,
I know, dude. I don't know. I'd be real mad. I'd be real fucking pissed off.
It's a race between Chelsea and Tottenham for Ansu Fati.
I don't.
We are not going to go in for Ansu Fati.
I also don't want him.
It's already been said that the owners want this player to be in the not public. So just the fact that there's already links to Ansu Fati tells me that we're not going in for him. Cause
Okay, good. So it's a race between us and ourselves, which
There you
means
go.
we'll probably lose the race.
yeah, you have to say you're about to no, it's between you and Saudi, so
So yeah, we'll lose the
you're
race.
definitely losing that race.
Yeah. The only thing I wanted to touch on real quick, just for a minute or two, is the whole drama that's going right now with the Spain FA.
Oh.
You know, I think what the president did on the field during the women's first ever Women's World Cup, you know, that was disrespectful and inappropriate, and
Disgusting.
it was disgusting. And I think, you know, it was a shame that happened. I think it takes away from the accomplishment the women did. And I just wanted to know if you guys had any specific thoughts on it. I think it's wild that, you know, there's already been a lot of drama with Spain in recent years. You know, with with Catalonia, like Barcelona, that area wanting to be its own country. You know, that them trying to step away from Spain. You know, Spain has had a lot of weird drama. I feel like in the last couple of years that's gone under the radar, but this one, I think this one's just the icing on the cake. So I want to know if you guys had any specific thoughts on it.
There's a lot of he said, she said with this. There's no need to talk about it until there's been a full investigation on it. I just think in general it shouldn't have happened. I think the most he should have done if he was going to go overblown like this was do the European / South American thing where, you know, you do the kiss on the cheek to cheek.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you need to be a little bit more, you know, if he wants to be more, you know, embracing with
Intimate.
everyone, yeah, do a cheek to cheek and move on. Don't. I haven't watched the video. I only saw the pictures of it. I don't know if I didn't lip read to see if he said, "Can I give you a kiss?" or anything like that. I don't fucking know what happened.
I don't think he did.
I
From
doubt
what
he
I've
did.
heard online.
I doubt
Yeah.
he did, but who the fuck knows? But at the end of the day, don't do that on the fucking stage in front of the whole world. Just cheek to cheek, do a hug, move the fuck on.
Yeah,
There's no need.
that was a weird
There's
one.
no need.
Yeah.
Or just a hug. Just a fucking hug.
Yeah.
We've
And
seen
yeah,
it with
like you said,
Lesbian.
I know it's like a European thing, and
Not to do mouth to mouth kissing.
I know. I'm saying, but like greetings and stuff like that are a lot more like touchy feely
intimate
than
in
here.
Europe. Yes.
Yeah. So it's
But it's
like
different with the American
Culture.
media reacting to this. Like they don't understand necessarily the way the Europeans do it.
it's a lot.
So you
Yeah,
have to take into
Americans look
account
at it
that.
as a lot more egregious. I feel
Yes.
like than
So you
Europe
have to take
is
into
right
account
now.
that. But don't fucking kiss someone in the front on the stage.
Yeah.
There's no need unless they were married, and even then, I would say don't even fucking push it.
Yeah.
Just celebrate it after the fact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a shame that it happened, but congratulations, Spain's women team on winning your first ever Women's World Cup. That's a big accomplishment, so big up on you guys.
Yeah. Delayed. Very delayed, but
Very
Yeah, I'm
congratulations.
just sorry that all this is being
it's
taken
taken
away
away from
from.
the celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I just hope everyone's doing okay in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
But with all this being said, there's also that possibility that is it also in this same case that all the Spanish teams may or may not be able to play in the Champions League?
Well, they want him to step down. That's the whole
If
other
the
news.
FA doesn't fire, what's his name?
The
Rubiales?
president right now, yeah.
If they don't fire him, they're threatening to leave UEFA, which would mean no Madrid, no Barca.
Yeah.
They're basically holding the FA for ransom, but I think this is a good thing, honestly. Well, once they do the full investigation, we'll see what happens. You know.
Well, no, the FA is holding UEFA ransom. The FA is
true.
threatening this to make him stay.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was going on.
From my understanding of the whole situation,
Mm.
I'm not all in the weeds with this. The FA is holding out on UEFA's demands to fire Rubiales. UEFA is threatening, or the FA is threatening to leave UEFA because of it, and UEFA is responding saying, "Well, if you leave, your teams can't be in our competitions," type of thing. So
You know,
like
with
a game of chicken. It's like a game of chicken. Who's gonna blink first?
honestly, with all these, especially in the last couple of years since the Super League, with all these threatenings to leave, UEFA or CONMEBOL or CONCACAF or whatever, these people that are trying to leave their governing bodies of soccer from FIFA, it just makes me think we're inching closer and closer to a Super League. Like we're gonna get there sooner or later. Because I mean, if they were to leave, 100% sure that Barcelona and Real Madrid have an invite to the Saudi league. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem. I'm not saying that that's what the goal is, but I'm just saying that
Could be the outcome.
I wouldn't be shocked if this was to happen.
Well, they're trying to get the Saudi teams in the Champions League.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they wouldn't. Or would they? Because then Barcelona and then we'll be like, we're not part of the Spanish FA anymore. So
I just saw that like the Saudi league officials have been like in contact with UEFA about like allowing one or two teams to be in the Champions League every season, which it would suck.
I don't like that. I mean, I'm fine with them getting a spot, but I also think if they get a spot, some of the other bigger nations like the Belgium league and the Eredivisie need more spots for Champions League places. Like they need to be able to get more teams in there. If the Saudi Arabian league gets to get 2 or 3 teams in there consistently, when a lot of those other places get 1 team every season. So I don't know. It just seems like.
I mean, I do wish that there was like a better version of a club World Cup type of thing. Like, I would enjoy seeing like the best team from Liga
Every
MX
region.
or I wish there was a tournament out there like that, but
Club
and
World
like
Cup.
yeah, like a better version of it though, and I know that the Club World Cup is
Don't say it better. Don't say it for a better
No,
one
I'm saying-
until you win it. Until you win it, don't say it. Don't talk about it.
I'm saying it's like a younger tournament, right? It hasn't been around very long.
The Champions League?
No, the Club World Cup.
Been around for a minute,
It's been around for a couple years, for a decade or 2, I think.
decade.
So yeah, it's still like kind of a younger tournament, so maybe eventually it'll end up being a prestigious honor, but there shouldn't be Saudi teams in the Champions League.
I don't know.
That would be stupid.
I wouldn't go that far, but I also think that if the Saudi Arabian League gets to have teams, then I would just rather them reformat it where we just had a big,
And just make it a worldwide competition.
A worldwide competition.
Yeah. If you're gonna let one country, one other region in, you gotta let every other region in. It can't just be Saudis only, because then MLS is gonna come. Like everyone's gonna come. Everyone with money is gonna come knocking.
Yeah.
That means if you open your doors to Saudi, you're opening your doors to everyone else.
Yeah.
Just keep it UEFA and fuck off.
Just keep it as it is. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the world idea. I don't know. I
It
feel
would
like
be fun.
I feel like it would.
I'm not even gonna. I can't say it wouldn't be fun. It would be fun.
All I'm saying is like I feel like we. I mean, I've been a person that thinks that we should. It's the only thing I think we should take from MLS. There should be wage gaps and everything, or wage caps. On certain teams. Trying to make the competition a little bit more competitive. But I know it's bad for business, but it's good for sport. But if they were to do that, make it a world competition, then and every region or every league had like 1 or 2 spots. Obviously there's going to be a lot of fodder. There's going to be a lot of teams that just cannot compete.
I would love to see LAFC get peppered by like Real Madrid. That'd be so awesome. That would be so awesome.
But I don't know. But it also adds more game time to scheduling conflicts. It's not a realistic thing at the moment. But I feel like it would be. I feel like then it would open the doors up to be more competitive, to make leagues.
It'd be
more
fun.
Competitive. I don't know.
I can't sit here and say I wouldn't watch every second. Like it would be really fun, but I just like things the way the logistics don't work.
Yeah. It's like the same thing as like why when they were talking about bringing MLS teams a while back, I was like, no, because there's no. Why would you fly all the way to America, for a game and then have to fly back when the flights alone are like 8 hours, 9, 10 hours depending where you're going.
Depends. If you're flying from England to New York, it's like 6 hours.
Yeah, but if you're flying from
it's not bad.
Yeah,
if you're flying from LA to England, it's like 10, 11 hours. So
yeah, and to do that back and forth, it's a lot, and the logistics.
And it would likely be LAFC would be a team in there, so there would be flights. That would be 11 hours for England.
And I can see why, because I mean the Middle East isn't that far from Europe. I mean they're literally right by one another. But I don't know. I don't think they're ready yet to be demanding all that.
Mm-mm.
I don't think they're that close to each other.
They're not far from each other. From Europe in general, they're not far from one another.
Okay, what part of Europe? We're talking about Western Europe?
No, we're talking about Eastern Europe, but there's...
Okay.
No, I'm talking about Europe in general. They're not far
Yeah,
from
I mean,
Europe.
Saudi Arabia is not that far from Europe.
They're closer. They're close. Saudi Arabia is...
Which is easy to say when you're
East
looking
Europe.
at a map.
Yeah,
but
it's closer to East Europe than the United States is closer to Western Europe. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that far. Not that big of a deal. And Europe is not the size of the USA, so it's really like Mexico knocking on the door of the USA. It's like right there. It's right there. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was
all right.
That's all. I think that's everything.
That's everything, guys. Thanks for being here. Unlike Brandon. Like, subscribe. We got like 20 views, right? 21 views last I checked on our last one, so keep it up. Just start hitting that sub button.
Yeah, helps us a lot.
Hitting the like button, following us on social media. We're going to start posting, I promise, on Twitter and TikTok. But until next time,
Peace.
Peace out.